Hello and welcome to Pisces Moon Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Kate Leonard, and I'm excited to explore the stars with you. Hi everyone! Welcome to bonus episode number 2. We are still in the week of July 6th through July 12th, and there was so much going on this week with Uranus ingressing into Gemini, and by far that is the most significant thing happening this week. But we also had a bunch of Venus stuff going on that I didn't have time to talk about. And I know people are often interested in Venus, and why not? She is the goddess of love and friendship, relationships in general, women, sisters, money, art, creativity. I mean, name it, right? Venus is a whole lot of good. So let's talk about some of what she's doing this week. On the 6th, which by the time I post this is going to be yesterday, on the 6th, Venus made sextiles to both Saturn and Neptune. This is big. I mean, sextiles aren't the most important aspect that a planet can make, but they're not nothing, and they are angles of opportunity. They're not going to beat you in the head and say, you must deal with this energy, but it's like the energy's available and you can use it if it suits you to use it. This is interesting because Saturn and Neptune are basically conjunct right now. They're not going to go to the exact same degree until 2026, but they're technically conjunct and have been for a while. Saturn is structure. Neptune dissolves things. So these two coming together are really requiring us to look at the structures of our lives, our relationships in this case, but in general, these two coming together, and this is going to be a longer story that I'll be talking about in a future full episode. These two coming together is really about looking at the structures in our lives and deciding if they still work and letting go of them if they don't, building something new that is more suited to the time. And in this case, we're talking about the structure as it relates to Venus, okay? When you think of the Venus areas of your lives, what works and what doesn't work? That's basically what this aspect is inviting us to analyze. The structure of your relationship. Are you tired of waiting to put a ring on it? Are you sick of the ring, right? It can look a number of ways, how you create your art. Is that system working for you? Are you making the art you truly want to make? Are you making it where and how you want to make it? Same goes for money. Is this job the job? Does something need to change? So the first part of this week with this Venus sextile to the conjunct Saturn and Neptune, we're really being asked to analyze the existing system or the structure of all things Venus and let go of what doesn't serve us so that we can rebuild something better. But again, this is an opportunity, not a must do. So I invite everybody just to, my philosophy is always like, we want to use the energy. Use is the wrong word, right? We want to benefit from the energies that the planets are offering us if we possibly can. And this is one of those times to really take an honest look. I would suggest taking some quiet time. Venus loves leisure time, right? She loves relaxing in the bubble bath or walking through nature. She's in Gemini right now, so getting out into the fresh air. Give yourself a slow minute to really ask yourself, how do I like how I make my money? What's working, what's not? How is my creative life? Am I satisfied? Is it old and I'm just doing it because it's what I've always done? And of course, Venus is the goddess of love above and beyond all else, right? So look at your relationship status, whether you're in one or not. If you're in one, is it right for you? Is the way you operate with your partner, is that how you want it to be? Or do changes need to be made? Also, if you're not with a partner, do you want to be? Are you single because that's your choice? And if it has been your choice, are you still happy with that? Or are you ready to make a change and maybe partner up with somebody? If you know you want to partner up and you're not finding that somebody, why not? How are you structuring how you meet people, how you present yourself to people? What's your old way, right? Saturn is the old way. Do you always go to a certain kind of place? Do you go out with a bunch of your besties so that you're sitting over in the corner and having so much fun that nobody really feels welcome to approach you? Do you always use an app? How are the systems working for you? If they're not, then how do you change it? Venus in sextile with Saturn and Neptune will give you those answers and give you the energy to make the changes that you need to make. But you have to grab it. It is not going to beat you on the head. So if you choose to let it go by, you're just like, you know what? I don't have the energy right now. And you know what? I feel you because I'm going through one of those times when it's like, sometimes you're just, I'm doing more than I can do. You know what I mean? I'm just going to have to let this one pass. And with a sextile, that's okay. There's not going to be any weird life lesson or karma or any kind of kerflooey thing that's going to come get you if you just decide to let it go. But it's really good energy if you can face some self-analysis. It's a good time to do it, and the payoff will be beautiful if you do it. Okay? So that's part of what's going on with Venus. That was exact on the 6th. We're going to feel that energy pretty much all week, but with a sextile, I would act on it sooner rather than later. And then on the 7th, we get a trine. Venus will trine Pluto in Aquarius. A trine is a very important aspect, and it is the most positive aspect. So this is talking about the transformative power of love, right? Pluto is power and deep transformation. Venus is all the things we already talked about. Pluto is also just power. So standing in your power in your relationship. But this is positive. This is a beautiful aspect. So it's not like standing in your power to face off against your partner or your boss or whoever it is. This is standing together in power. I think that's how I would look at it. It's almost inviting us to, while we've got this sextile energy going on where we're being invited to analyze our relationships to art, money, people, etc. It's almost like one of the questions we should be asking is, does this relationship empower me? Do I feel strong together in this, whatever it is, right? And if the answer is no, maybe that's how you use that sextile energy with Saturn involved to consider, how do you change it then? And the trine is super blessed, so it will really be there for you. Transformation is the other big deal besides power. Pluto is deep transformation. This is a time when you might be feeling yourself really moving closer to your partner, but in a very deep and meaningful way. It's a time that you may be finding that really pouring yourself into your work or your art any kind of relationship as well, that if you really put yourself into it and allow yourself to be really authentic and true and really go deep with that person or that artwork or that job, that way you make money, you will find that you're transformed. It's almost like a springtime energy where you go deep in the winter, right? Everything's underground, and then spring is sprung. And of course, that's part of the Pluto myth. So this is really a time that's inviting us to examine, that's those sextiles, and also just to feel into the depth of all things Venus in our lives and let them bloom. You will be empowered by doing this. One thing that I find interesting is that Venus is in Gemini, an air sign, and Pluto is in Aquarius, an air sign. The air signs are all about intellect and communication. So that really tells me that part of how we approach this is to really think about what we want and communicate really openly with our partner, with our boss, with our art, right? Communicate really openly so that we can get deep together and help to empower each other. How many times do I hear clients say that they're not getting what they want from a partner or whatever? And I ask, like, does your partner know that you want this thing? Does your partner know how you feel? And it's shocking, really, how often the answer is, well, I don't know, maybe not. And then when we dig into it, yeah, they didn't tell their partner, right? It's just that whatever's up for the person, they feel like it's so big that like everybody around them's going to know already, or that it's so obvious to them that their partner, of course, should just be naturally thinking that way. And that's just not how humans work. So thinking of love and power and transformation, I think the key through these air signs, I think the key is really about communication. First, look at your own thoughts and get clear, and then talk. Gemini loves to talk, and that's where Venus is, right? So I think that's what I've got. This is just a quick bonus because I felt bad that because the Uranus thing was so big, we didn't get to talk about Venus, and she's super important this week. And I know a lot of people are concerned about their relationships for one reason or another. So I hope this is helpful. I think this is a week when relationships can grow and deepen and become more what we want them to be now, not what we wanted 8 years ago. That's the stuff we're supposed to let go of. That's that sextile to Saturn and Neptune. Let it dissolve. Build what you need now. How are we going to do this? We're going to think. We're going to feel into it because feeling is Venus, but we're going to think because air signs are intellect, and we're going to talk because Gemini, right? The social butterfly, of course you're going to talk, and I think it's going to pay off. And I think that relationships are just going to get deeper and grow and, become empowered. I love it. I love this energy. I didn't want to leave you this week without talking about it a little bit. Thank you for sticking through the bonus episode. And yeah, let me know how it goes. Please reach out and let me know how it goes. That always makes me so happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you for liking, sharing, rating, and doing all that good stuff. Super grateful. Anyway, until next week, go out and seize the energies of the stars. This is my wish for you always, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.